Join the movement. Go all electric with Pure Electric.
Hi and welcome to our Coburg North EnerPHit Passive House. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we live and work. The brief of this house was to maintain the footprint of the original house and as many of the materials as we possibly could, whilst upgrading the house for our family. When sourcing the materials for using in our renovation, we tried to keep the embodied energy of the material palette as low as possible. So we've sourced local second-hand bricks from local demolition, locally sourced and quarried stone, locally made hardwood timber doors and windows, and locally felled and milled cypress macrocarpa from Series Fairwood. Along with locally sourced demolished second-hand reds, we've also sourced second-hand flooring from just old floors throughout the house. To meet the rigorous standards required for EnerPHit Passive House certification, we've had to add enormous amounts of thermal insulation to the house, and that's drawn us to DuraPanel, which is a locally made compressed straw panel that we've used on the internal linings in the house. This has got amazing acoustic and thermal benefits, and then inside of the wall there's a 60mm cavity that's been blown in with carbon plus insulation, blow-in insulation, that allows us to achieve the high insulation requirements of the Passive House package. During the demolition of the house, we carefully removed and denailed all the old rafter timbers, and these timbers were passed on to our friend and architect Nick Argius from Argius Scorpo that has handmade the handles out of the original rafters out of the house. One of the most critical components of this house is the heat recovery ventilation system. This is our Zehnder Comfort Air 180, which essentially brings in fresh air from outside, puts it through filters, and then distributes it through the house while keeping the heat. By using EnerPHit Passive House principles, we've been able to preserve the original dwelling, build a house that is incredibly efficient as far as it uses far less energy than it generates, has a really healthy environment inside. It's 55% humidity and 21 degrees all year round, and uses probably about 80 to 90% less energy than it did before the renovation. By combining the Passive House principles with us sourcing locally made and low embodied energy materials, this house balances performance and sustainability.